practically in history, and again, a tribute to him, to our policies, and a tribute to the private sector, which created many of these jobs, working together with public and private. And with that, we continue our progress. We're laser focused on the economy for the people, creating jobs, growing the economy. As I said, 6.6 million new jobs were created last year. 6.6 million new jobs last year. A stark contrast.
There is a huge update from the lawmakers. The top Senate Democrats have unveiled, everybody, a new tax bill that will help so many people with stimulus. Yes, folks, a ton of more people in the United States will be getting a fourth stimulus check sooner than you could believe it. Now, here's the most important information that I have for you folks. Today, the Senate Democrats introduced a resolution condemning a proposal that the House Republicans issued last month to raise the sales tax to 30% and repeal other taxes like the income, payroll, and estate taxes. Not only that, but it would also declare that the Senate opposes paying for the tax cuts of Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, and the benefit cuts for service members, veterans, or the law enforcement. The Republicans and Representatives introduced a bill which was co-sponsored by 25 Republicans to significantly raise sales tax to account for almost all of the federal government's revenue in exchange for the taxes being withdrawn. Now, this proposal would allow the workers to keep their checks without the government taking out any money. But the thing is, they would need to pay significantly more when buying products, including groceries. In an official statement, a senator said, "A national sales tax is an awful idea. It's going to hurt so many people, but one thing to look out for is a fourth stimulus." Now, it does make sense because different versions of this tax proposal have been introduced in Congress, and the proposal of this term is that Republicans have pushed to repeal funding, which was given to the Internal Revenue Service, which is the IRS, to hire 87,000 employees over the next decade from the Inflation Reduction Act money. Now, this IRS funding and the new hires were intended to increase tax enforcement or for the high individuals that are earning a lot of money. Now, this Fair Tax Act would also significantly limit the role that the IRS plays in collecting taxes. So, if you collect a lot of taxes, that's what the IRS does. Because I also want to say that this is from finance experts and that the long-awaited South Carolina 2022 individual tax return, well, it's a tax rebate. It's an income tax rebate, and has already begun to be issued to eligible taxpayers. The South Carolina Department of Revenue says that if you filed your taxes with individuals, then you should receive your rebate soon. But today's the last day for the South Carolina residents to file anything for the 2021 taxes and qualify for the payment. Because according to the state's Department of Revenue, rebates will go to the South Carolina residents who file their taxes by February 15th, with recipients receiving their payment sometime in March. Rebates will be capped at $800. Yes, folks, $800 is the max you'll receive from that. Because with that information, we know that rebates will be capped at $800. Tax liabilities, what's left after subtracting your credits from the individual tax return that you owe. And if your tax liability is less than $800, your rebate will be the same as your tax liability. If your tax liability is more than or equal to $800, you will receive a rebate for $800. A rebate trafficker is available online for recipients to use if they wish to check the status of their payments. Because the New Jersey homeowners have already until 2 weeks to file for a state program, which will give up to $1,500. The Affordable New Jersey Communities for Homeowners and Renters program is still accepting applications from state homeowners and renters through the end of this month. So you could be getting stimulus, a ton of stimulus before President Biden's term ends. We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security Benefits, SSI, and SSDI. We have a ton of news, folks, and here is the most important news that I want all of you guys to know. Now, first of all, it's happening, and lawmakers are beginning the important discussions to talk about programs like Social Security and for this fourth stimulus payment. Joe Biden has already officially laid out his plans for this, what he wants to do for America, what he can do for America.
Getting a raise is always nice.
So here's what the raise looks like in real terms. The average Social Security recipient receives $1,681 a month, or just over $20,000 a year. In 2023, the monthly payment rises $146 a month to $1,827, or $21,172 a year, a $1,752 increase. Now, Pat's hard work, income, and contributions to the system over...
It should also be noted that the latest round of stimulus payments were limited to individuals with adjusted gross incomes of $75,000 or less. that were entitled to the full $1,400. It was reduced for those making more than $80,000 receiving a payment. I also want you guys to know that the IRS may owe you money based on crisis-related funds. Stimulus funds, that is, if you haven't even gotten your stimulus check yet. A ton of information about the Ford stimulus check is here, and stimulus payments are here for you and the people that need it the most. Chuck Schumer and the Senate could give a final proposal and approval by Thursday, in a week extension of the stimulus payments. Schumer said the House of Representatives is set to act on a 1-week continuing resolution and a stopgap funding bill as soon as tonight. And when the bill comes to the Senate, we should be ready to get this done as soon as possible. So, Chuck Schumer also said that House Republicans have encouraged their leaders to vote against the bill in a protest of what they call trillions of dollars of wasteful spending, even though it's going to the people that need stimulus the most. The House of Representatives had already passed a short-term funding bill last night to avoid this government shutdown. They kicked the Friday funding deadline next week to allow lawmakers more time to strike a deal on the spending for the remainder of the fiscal year 2023. The continuing resolution passed in a 224 to 201 vote and now heads to the Senate, where it must pass and be sent to President Biden's desk before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown. This measure will keep the government funded at current levels until December 23rd. Also, folks, in a notice sent by the House Minority Leader, he said that leadership recommended Republicans to vote no on the bill in an attempt to buy additional time for a lame duck session. But now this means that gas prices are continuing to drop as demand lowered and oil prices held steady. The national average for a cost of gas is $3.26, and that's 50 cents less than a month ago and 6 cents less than a year ago. As the winter weather keeps people homebound, less demand for gas and continued stability in oil prices has contributed to the steady decline of gas prices. AAA spokesperson told Fox News that the seasonal pattern of less driving due to shorter days and crummy weather combined with lower oil costs is driving gas prices lower. If this trend continues, many states could see their average gas price fall by $3 a gallon. Under the weight of economic concerns, everybody, a possible surge in crisis and a changed psyche is causing oil prices last week to fall again to nearly a decade low. Oil prices have struggled mightily to hold its rally even on some potentially bullish news, each time falling back down as fundamentals look struggles. Gavin Newsom even said that he announced a proposal to penalize oil companies for reported price gouging in a bid to deter excessive price increases and keep people in California safe from this inflation spike. Under the proposed law, state agencies would even close more review gas costs, profits, and pricing, as well provide the state with greater regulatory oversight of the refining. What this means is that stimulus payments are being on hold for now because of the gas prices. And now, the Census Bureau also projects that the problem will become more widespread in the coming years as more baby boomers who began turning 65 years in 2021 join the rank of the retired. In 2050, the U.S. population ages 65 and older